What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in. Let me tell you about my 1998 Silverado extra cab, third door. I've had it since 1997, so let's get to it. Had this truck way before, actually a year before the Eclipse, and back then this was my first choice even before I got into racing. Prior to getting into the racing scene, when the street racing scene got really popular, I ended up street racing with this, and then once I figured out that there's only so much I could do with this particular vehicle, that's when I decided to go ahead and pick up a GSX. But here's my 98 Silverado, and yeah, for the most part, I need to do a lot of maintenance on it, but other than that, it's a very solid truck. If you guys know about these vehicles, this truck, this body style was the last year, so 98. So this body style was from 88 to 98. There was some changes in between there, motor, interior, and stuff like that, but for the most part, it pretty much stayed the same for that long. So let me show you all the little stuff that needs to be either fixed or maintained or repaired. And yeah, hope you guys stay tuned for this build. We have some cool partners on this build too, so stay tuned and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Here we have my 1998 Silverado extra cab, third door. This is the passenger side. As you guys can see, no major damages. There is some sun damage and some clear damage on this side. The rear, pretty clean. One ding on the bumper, we'll get to that later. Z28 badge, we'll talk about that in a future video. But here you can see the passenger side. And now the front side, we got the old school clear corners. I got those back in 99. But here's the driver's side. You can see a little bit more of the paint damage, clear coat falling. There was an accident on this side at one point, but we'll talk about that later. Now we're seeing the front hood. The hood is pretty solid. There is some clear removing, and you know, we see the dash there, but we'll get back to that in the interior shots. The corners are a little faded. I am missing my front valance. Already have that. Eventually we'll get to that. Put a new one on. The front bumper has zero damage, little scratches, but other than that, it's pretty solid front end. Some fading on the headlights and markers, but pretty much good. As you guys get a better chance or a better look at the driver's side, you can see some of the clear falling off or fading out, and there is a little bit of damage here on the handle, which we need to replace, and I already have a new one. There is some rust issues we have to take care of there. Eventually completely take it out, but here's the bed. Again, a little bit more clear stuff coming off. Tires about 10 years old, so yeah, time to change those out too. But here you can see the railing looks pretty solid. Here's the rear dent on the back bumper. I hit a tree at one point. It wasn't fun. I was upset, but this truck is the tow package edition, so it does have tow package to it. And here's some more damage on the tailgate. Eventually I'll probably end up just replacing this instead of having to fix some of those dings. Door handle, it's not functioning. Might be the rods, so we'll take that out. But here you see that the truck does have a MagnaFlow exhaust system. You can see the original tire. You can see some of the surface rust on the rear end and some on the frame. But this vehicle did live outside, so you see that. But here we go. A little bit of some scratches. Don't know how those got there. Who knows? But this side is a lot cleaner than the other side. You do have some clear coming off on the third door, and this handle is broken as well. We'll have to replace that, put a new one on. But here's one of the bigger dings on the vehicle. I did that myself. You know, it is what it is. But here's some paint coming off of the passenger side fender. But for the most part, you can see the truck is pretty straight and clean. So Let's take a look at a little bit of the roof. Again, more clear. There's a little bit of rust right above, not rust completely, but some oxidation, or however you want to say it, on around the edge. And as well, here's some paint coming off the third door. This third brake light is completely not functioning. I think it might just be the bulbs, but I do have a whole new one. But for the most part, it's pretty solid. The paint is coming off. Obviously, I use this truck for towing. I used it for my quads and doing, using it as a truck for a long time. So, yeah, but there is a ding right here that needs to be addressed. But here's a little bit more of the roof. And now let's take a look at the inside. Driver's side door panel. As you can see, the door handle is broken. We do have a new one for this. So we'll be replacing that soon. Original floor mats, as you guys can see right there at the bottom, when this truck was repainted on the driver's side, they didn't wait for it to dry, so now there's that problem. So right there in the turn signals, the little rubber piece that's in between it needs to be replaced, but for the most part, as you guys can see, the interior is pretty solid, really clean. The floor does need a little bit cleaning, but here's the dash. The dash got cracked not because of the sun, but because somebody had broken into my truck when I was in Mexico and stole my radio, and they decided to pry it open, and it broke the dash. But headliner, you're starting to see a little bit of sag. Not too much, but some, which is starting to get annoying. So eventually we'll have to remove that and redo it. But here's the passenger side. This door panel is solid, clean. Carpet again, a little dirty. Can be cleaned up, but again, you can see that the truck is in well-maintained condition. I've had it, for 25 years or so. This door opens up freely, and here you can see the extra cab section. I do have a couple, spots where it's dirty on the seat, but for the most part, it's pretty solid. I really hate that GM did those fishnets on the back of each door. The back of each seat. I've never used them, but they still ended up sagging. Here's the original floor mats for the rear. Again, carpet needs to be cleaned, and those are your original floor mats. But for the most part, again, the headliner is pretty solid, and I'll start showing you guys, if you guys can see that there is some carbon fiber accents on there. And at one point I did have a subwoofer and a custom box made for the rear, but took that out, and now I only have that Pioneer head unit and this 6.5 Pioneer speakers as well. But here you can see the carbon fiber accent kit, and as well as here. So this kit was given to me back in 1999, and I ended up putting it on because carbon fiber was starting to hit back then. So I decided to go ahead and put this in because I did get it for free. And here's the overhead console too. This one didn't come with the temperature gauge over the top, but eventually it'd be nice to just have. But here's the overall look of my Silverado interior, and then this obviously needs to be replaced. I do have a new one, so yeah. Here's the engine bay. You can still see the hood foam is still on there. The engine has never been touched other than injectors, spark plugs, wires, and oil changes. I do have a drop-in K&N filter in the airbox, but for the most part, just the battery, very minimal maintenance, and this truck is still running great. I do have to recharge the AC because it leaked, so we need to fix that. But for the most part, again, solid vehicle. I do see a little bit of oil right here by the oil filler. Maybe the valve covers, but I think that might be time to change that. But original alternator, yeah, for the most part, very clean. Eventually we'll clean this out, make it look really, really nice. And yeah, look, I think it's a pretty well solid vehicle. I wish I would have kept it maintained as much as I could, but. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the walk around on my 98 Silverado X-Tech extra cab, third door. Like I mentioned, I've had this since a long time, so I know the OBS is very popular nowadays. The two-door, but not the extended cab as much as it used to be back in the 90s when I was growing up. But I think we're going to make a comeback. So the reason I brought it, because I think it's going to make a great show truck or street truck. And not only that, but it also helps, I'm going to be able to tow, because I use this to tow all the vehicles and quads and stuff like that back in days. So I think it's going to be very very helpful when I finish the Angry Panda, or if I want to tow something to a show or make something, or you know, tow other projects and stuff like that. So yeah, so I think it's going to make a great show and tow vehicle for the channel. So thank you for watching. Stay tuned. Big shout outs to everybody that's supporting it and see the vision that I have. So yeah, hit a subscribe, hit a thumbs up, and hit a comment below so you see what you guys think. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit a subscribe as well. So thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one. Crows are coming.